I'm not the kind of girl who gives up just like that. Oh no, the tide is high and I'm moving on. I'm gonna be your number one. Number one. Number one. Welcome to another horrible, terrible, very tired, unscheduled, yet done episode of The Apocalypse. And congratulations for choosing The Apocalypse, by the way. Not the wisest of choices, I'm afraid, son. You're a bolder man than I. Let's put it that way. And since, son, you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide. Nicholas, so good to see you once a bloody again. When the shrimp goes bloody nuclear, it's the apocalypse. Your empire is dying. Nuclear shrimp! For God's sake! What has the world come to, man? The apocalypse! The Antichrist! What else do you expect? Perhaps they came from the Bay of Fukushima. Who knows? There's no regulations anymore, so who fucking cares, right? Anyway, let's begin. I got a lot here, 3 days worth, and I'm going to go through them very quickly because I'm tired and I wasn't even going to do this, but I'm your guide, right? People need to know. So this I found interesting. This is a sketch someone did, Nobel Peace Prize Committee. Just for fun, let's give it to Obama again. Could you imagine? Donnie would have a fucking aneurysm. He'd send the military out to like every state and shit. It would be insane if they gave it to Obama again when Donnie wants it. During his reign as Caesar. It would sting. It would hurt. Donnie would lose his fucking mind. He'd have an aneurysm. He'd probably stroke out. And then the devil wouldn't be able to use him for, chaos, division, war, and worship. Shit, that'd be horrible. Donnie posted this the other day. Again, I'm working from 2 days ago up till now. Bella. Bella. I don't know. Was he hitting on the Italian prime minister or something? I don't know what. That's all I can come up with. Bella. That's Bella. Nobody fucking knows what the hell he meant. Not one person. I thought to myself, is that like the code word for, like, in the Star Wars movies, there was a thing called Order 66 or something like that, where the good guys would all turn on the Jedi and kill them all? The Emperor's big plan. So I was wondering if this Bella word was that like the Code 66 or Order 66? Where, all the patriots enslave the rest of us? Some shit like that? That's what I was thinking. Bella, I don't know. You figure it out. I don't know. Revolution, this thing's popping up all over DC, and I've seen other art to this effect. Revolution with the sandwich. Subway's gonna make a fucking fortune off this shit if this keeps going. Sandwich revolution. I love it. Another post by Gavin Newsom in Rube speak, in all caps, so the Rubes can appreciate it. Talking about Donnie's Bella post. Donald Tiny Hands has written his autobiography this morning. Unfortunately, low IQ, he spelled it wrong. Beta. Soon you will be a fired, that's in quotes, beta because of my perfect, beautiful maps. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GCN. Gavin talking big shit there. Here's Donnie complaining about the stuff that went on the past few days, a meeting with Putin, the scheduled meeting with Zelensky. Here's what Donnie said. This is a legit Donnie post right here on his money laundering thing. If I got Russia to give up Moscow as part of the deal, the fake news and their partner, why is partner all in all caps? The radical left Democrats would say yes, because all the news agencies are all aligned with Democrats. Nope, right-wingers bought all of them. All of them, son, do you hear me? All of them. Over. There was a reason they all bought them after Donnie lost. They wanted someone like Donnie or Donnie back in. That's why. Now their country's over, their empires are over, and the collective American empire is over. I promise you. Done. Because of these people that helped this along, that helped build this. So no, there's barely any liberal news agencies left whatsoever. And why would Vlad ever give Moscow to his dog? Vlad owns this thing. He doesn't have to give anything to him. And Donnie keeps talking to Vlad, talking to Zelensky, or doing an act in front of the cameras when Zelensky comes. I don't know why he bothers. Waste of time. And he just concedes to Russia every single time. Never has a bad word to say about Vlad. And my God, how embarrassing was that rolling out the red carpet and the whole thing the other day. Oof. Reagan was doing backflips in his fucking grave. Do you hear me? You people that look at Reagan as some kind of hero. Your hero is doing backflips in his fucking grave because of this traitor and you traitors by proxy that helped this along and made this happen. Rolling out the red carpet for KGB Vlad, who owns our president, via compromat, via money given to him over the years because he's a horrible business person. So, Vlad would never give Moscow. He'd never give anything. Why? He doesn't have to. He owns Donnie. He owns the president of the United States. Do you hear me, son? From 2016 to, 2020, he owned the president of the United States. Now he doubly owns him. And it's obvious. So, Vlad would never give anything to his dog. Why would he? He's a dog. He owns him. Vlad's his master. So it's fucking ridiculous. Don't be grifting, lying, cheating, and stealing every 5 seconds, and maybe the media will have something good to say about you. This I found fascinating, this picture. And how many pictures like this have we seen from the freaks in the cult over the years regarding Donnie? Gavin Newsom and Hulk Hogan, Kid Rock, Tucker Carlson. These are the kind of crazy fucking scenes we've seen. Almost as if it's, class, pay attention, almost as if it's supernatural. DC is a ghost town tonight. Empty buses and trains. Even Metro Center was nearly empty. All the usual bar areas dead. Not really any feds around tonight, just MPD. The National Mall was a ghost town earlier too, and that place should be packed on a weekend. Again, this is a few days old. Look, it's real simple. Dystopia does not lend to people feeling free and happy and secure enough to go out to eat and stuff like that. You know, like a normal country. Plus, men with machine guns standing around while you're trying to have a good time night out on the town, a dinner at a nice restaurant, kind of kills the fucking mood. In other words, dystopia doesn't lend to good business, to people feeling free, to people not holding on to their money. So Donnie's killing DC businesses with his quest against black people and homeless people. Like Adolf Hitler. Because Donnie sees DC as his personal kingdom now, and, you know, he wants it to look a certain way. And he wants the whole country to look a certain way. Hey, his dad was in the fucking Klan. And look, they're Nazis. They've both done the Nazi salutes, Leon and Donnie. It's obvious what they're going to do, what they have done. And it'll get more obvious by a comment from later on I have here. So one more time. Men with machine guns kill the mood. Doesn't make people want to go out and hang out at the bars and restaurants and do all that. Because they're worried about the men with fucking machine guns harassing them. You know, like in a dystopia, like in the novel 1984, shit like that. That's your country now, son. Do you understand that? You're already there. It's not coming. It's here. That's why DC looks the way it looks right now. But great, there won't be any homeless, there won't be no one else either. Johnny posted this the other day. Ukraine must be willing to lose some territory to Russia. Otherwise, the longer the war goes on, they will keep losing even more land. Again, shilling for Vlad. Donnie Krasnov proving it once again. He's Vlad's bitch, and he's Donnie Krasnov since 1987. Ukraine was our ally. We asked them back in the Clinton era, somewhere around there, if they'd get rid of their nukes, we'd provide security. You don't got to worry about nothing. Look at us now. Rubes and their head traitor, their messiah, betraying the people we made an agreement with. Siding with our enemy and their enemy. On an hourly basis. Shit, he couldn't wait to snitch what people told him to Vlad while they were sitting right there. He ran in another room and called Vlad up real quick. He admitted it. This isn't a secret, son. We'll get to it. So yeah, he just reposted this. You know, shilling for Russia. Again, Reagan would be just, he's doing backflips, son. Again, this is another great use of the President of the United States time. I'm so glad you people elected him. Making fun of Nicole Wallace. Wow, she, you know, because Nicole is just so over the top. Right? She's a radical leftist, right, Rubes? Nicole Wallace. She is a loser with bad ratings who is already thrown off of The View. She will be fired soon. MSNBC is dead. That's the President of the United States for the millionth time. Did that improve your life in any way, Rubes? Absolutely fucking not. Because you know why? A 4-year-old, maturity-wise, mentally, is no good as president. That's why. If only you people would have understood that. Again, a great use of the President of the United States time making fun of Nicole Wallace as if we're on the playground in 4th grade. This is Donnie, another Donnie post on his money laundering. It's just been found that the Democrats are buying protesters in order to fight my attack on crime. These are criminals who support crime. They are unelectable. That's a convicted felon that said that. You people in the cult, you're utter hypocrites. You believe in nothing. We don't need to talk about crime. Why? Because you voted for a convicted fucking felon. That's why. You don't give a fuck about crime. And this, blanket called crime, it's just a blanket to throw over the military takeover of your country. Yes, these people are Nazis. Yes, they have a plan. Yes, they've already deployed the military on your streets. Precedent set. There's plenty of troops on the streets right now. What is Donnie saying here? Because every accusation is a confession by Donnie Shitbags. Literally. That means Donnie has bought rally attendees over and over. We already know this. It's been proven over and over again. And he's bought protesters. That's what Donnie's telling you right here. Always takes what he does and accuses the other side of doing it. Constantly. To the point it's just utterly, nakedly transparent every time. I found this interesting. I'll show you the picture after I read this quickly. This is just a random poster. Jürgen Naudet. I hope he isn't like president of Finland or something. I don't know who he is. There's a stunning color video on YouTube of Berlin in the summer of 1945. Germans are walking among the ruins of the city under the buoyant sun, all with the same expression on their faces. What happened? How could we have elected this bastard who caused so much havoc? What was that even? Well, it was fun at the time, right? It was a game. It was politics, etc. No, it was evil. Calling evil politics doesn't make it any less evil. Doesn't atone for your sins either by putting your name on it. Not even close. Inverting reality, calling good evil and evil good doesn't help you out either, son. Doesn't make your case any better. When the man comes around, and he's coming, don't worry, he's coming. The end of a military dictatorship always resembles waking up from a dream or hypnosis when an entire nation suddenly begins to think critically and fears everything it has experienced. Oh, you mean when it comes to their doorstep? For the people that enjoyed it while it took place. Plus, it's the opportunity for a lot of people that did enjoy it, that are evil, just like the Reich of the day. That's why they put their name on it. They enjoyed the cruelty and evil. To pretend they didn't. And to pretend they're decent human beings. The end of a Reich or the end of a dictatorship is a great opportunity for that as well. I don't think we're going to get that chance, though. Thanks to the rubes, thanks to the greedy at the top. I don't think there's going to be an other side of this the way it has been before. It'll be much worse than before, globally. The Germans back then were brainwashed. No, all of them weren't brainwashed. And that's evident because of what's happening now. Let's be honest, okay? And I don't like saying it. I didn't like coming to the realization years ago. Let's be honest. Some of the people on this planet are evil. They enjoy inflicting harm and cruelty on other people. They're just like Donnie. That's a cold, hard reality we must realize, deal with, acknowledge. This is a nice way. This is a nice, sugar coating he's putting on this. But he should really be a little more realistic. For only 6 years before following Hitler into the apocalypse. I found it interesting he used that word. And they did, didn't they? It was a fucking apocalypse back then. World War II, my God. The Reich. This is the real apocalypse, though. Unfortunately for us. Otherwise, my tired ass wouldn't be here. And I want to be wrong, as always. Let me say that again. Every single thing I fucking say, I want to be wrong. After World War II, most were cured. That's in quotes. The Russians have been brainwashed for decades. How long will it take until they can think critically again? Well, the culture from the top down for young men is, become a mobster like Vlad. That's the example he sets. That's the way Russia works. That's the way America works now. Let me read that one line again. The Germans back then were brainwashed for only 6 years before following Hitler into the apocalypse. Only this time. As bad as that was back then, oh my God, it was horrific. This is going to be worse. Again, as we sit back, go to work, do whatever we do in our lives, you are witnessing the military takeover of your country in progress. Ain't shit anyone can do about it. Which I always knew once he got the keys. That's why I was yelling for everyone to please don't give him the keys. This is the picture of Berlin, 1945, the stunning color photo. That's where the attitude is. Everything's politics gets you. Your country in ruins. And many atrocities happening per day upon your people. A lumber mill in Montana that has been in business by the same family for over 75 years is having to close down, and 104 people are losing their jobs thanks to Trump's tariffs. I imagine those people probably voted for Donnie. Most of the ownership class did, I'm sure. Were the hope of tax cuts, deregulation, etc. greed worth it? Obviously they weren't. Because you're going out of business. Tonight in Washington, D.C., the sign reads, "The Bondi order is unlawful. You are not obligated to follow it. It's a shame the citizens have to tell the military this." That's the biggest, one of the things I'm disgusted most by, how easily the military just went along with no complaints, no nothing. Again, I always kind of knew it would go that way. I was hoping I was wrong, and I would say to the military that are going along with this, shame on you that the citizens have to tell you this. Shame on you for being the hand of subjugation upon your fellow Americans. Forever shame on you. Gavin Newsom. Someone did an AI of the ear maxi pad. Gavin's rocking that quite nicely, actually. Remember that? Like a day or two after the assassination attempt, everyone was saying like, yo, why is Donnie's ear look so, good? Next thing you know, Donnie got the ear maxi pad on. Again, a little comparison because everyone's complaining. The cult, Fox News, etc. They're complaining about the Gavin Newsom post. So remember this one with Hulk Hogan, Kid Rock, Carlson, and Newsom. And then look what's next to it. Do you forget about this? Because there's so many abominations per day. I forget about things even. I'll never forget about this one, but remember, the press brought up the Pope when the Pope died because JD killed him. Probably the Antichrist spirit that JD brought with him or something. I don't know. I'm not saying JD physically killed him. That's not what I mean. Remember that hours after JD Vance visits the Pope, he dies. So they bring up the Pope around Donnie on the White House lawn, and Donnie's like, I'd like to be Pope. I'm the first person that comes to mind. Donnie was serious, son. This is a 4-year-old again. How do I know he was serious? That, son. They made the White House post it too, remember? So before you complain about Gavin Newsom, you might want to flip back a few threads and look at this again. The new flag for the land of the free. I thought this was ingenious, whoever made it. And again, this is your country now. We're already here. And it's going to get more like this. More locations. Coming, a location coming near you. That's the new flag now. That's what we're doing. Barbed wire, chain link fence. That's what Jesus see now. That's what the majority of the church is preaching. That's what they're calling good now. Camps, son. Last time I heard about camp, I don't know. Guy with a funny mustache. Mass murdered like millions of people. Camps are never good, son. Never good. Don't try and make them good. It will not go well for you. Especially when you end up in one. And many of you will. As you preach the gospel of this, of Satan, of captivity, we're already there again. We're not getting there. We're there. There are people locked up in these fucking horrid places. They want to reopen Alcatraz. They want a Speedway one in fucking Indiana. They're opening more in Florida, Texas. Army bases opening camps up. I don't know. Again, people, this ain't sounding very Jesus-y to me. It's sounding kind of Hitler-y to me. Not kind of. Exactly. DC restaurants saw a more than 25% drop in dinners in the days following Trump's takeover of the city's police department, according to WUSA 9 analysis. I bet it was more than 25. Nazi propaganda indeed. When I see a poster like this, my God. Again, I think of 1933 Germany, man. Come on with this. Really? Your nation needs you. Yeah, to pick cotton to do the iPhone screws. This is the U.S. Department of Labor that posted this. We need you to help unleash the golden age of America. Apprenticeship.gov. And, look at the picture they use. Lily, white guy, blonde hair. I mean, it's so Nazi-esque, my God. I get such Hitler Goebbels vibes from this. It's exactly the same. Again, your government posted this. There is a mindset. Donnie handpicked people that are down with this. Okay? So we all know where it's going. All the major cabinet positions, they are all down with this. You know what I mean? Look at the picture again. All he needs is a Nazi uniform. A Hitler Youth uniform or something. They couldn't make it any more obvious where they want this to go. DC bar owners say Trump's crackdown is killing business. One bar owner on popular U Street corridor said Thursday sales dropped 75% and Friday was down by more than half. Another bar owner in Adams Morgan said the business is not sustainable, losing thousands a night. Do you know what that's called? Class. The Donnie Shitbags effect. Again. He's here to burn it all, whether he knows it or not, realizes it. That is what he's here to do. To burn it all the fuck down. Again, guys with machine guns standing around, people don't want to go hang out in the bars, They don't want to be on the wrong end of that machine gun. And I don't fucking blame them. Does Donnie care? No, he's got a population to subjugate. And again, when I say that, people, I'm not being dramatic. You shouldn't have to question it when there's military troops in 2 states right now. Well, DC's not a state, but same thing. How many states will it take for troops to be on your streets before you get that this is a Reich? And yes, they go in full Reich. Back 6 months ago when I was screaming about this stuff, this literal stuff, that's all happening now. I can understand why people were more skeptical. Now, after there's troops in 2 areas of your country, and there's going to be more in a bunch more areas, I expect people to be less skeptical. Someone took Gavin and put him in the OJ chase. Remember, Donnie posted when he was looking for distractions from the fact that he's a pedophile with Epstein's best friend. Remember, he put Obama in this car. And he put himself in JD, the fat JD, chasing OJ, which was Obama. Well, look who's in the lead car now. Let me blow it up a little more for you. Flipping Donnie the Bird. It's Gavin. Oh, shit. Is that Melania? Oh, shit. They're getting raw on Donnie. They going all the way. And you know what? He deserves it. Again, I have no mercy for these people. Just like we should have had no mercy for those other people. They had no problem lying about me and a million other people in court documents, in newspapers, in online, sending bots, trolls, threatening people, doing all and people still want to give the benefit of the doubt? Donnie too. Poor Donnie. No, Donnie spouts abominations 1,000 times a day. This is light in comparison to what Donnie really deserves. What he really deserves is to be so ostracized from society as to go live in a fucking cave. But that'll never happen. Because it's the apocalypse. And we're on a course that must run its course. Unfortunately. So, I don't feel sorry for these people. They got no problem throwing people in camps, lying, cheating, stealing, grifting, plan to subjugate you. They are subjugating you. Again, troops, concentration camps. What the fuck more do you need to see? And again, son, just because you ain't in the camp don't mean it ain't going on. Don't mean we're not already in dystopia. Random poster. The prices at the grocery store are starting to scare the shit out of me. $6 for a bag of chips. Beef, $18 a pound. All produce is at least $1 more. And all of Assface's stupid fucking tariffs haven't even kicked in yet. We are in some deep, deep shit, people. Yes, we are. There's a phrase in the Bible. A measure of wheat for denarius. That always stuck with me. I don't know why. It just struck me. What that means is things will get so bad that it will take a day's wage to buy a meal. Depending where you live on this globe, you might already be living that. You might be living where there is no meal to even be bought. But what I think why it's in the prophecy is because it happens to a place that is used to having plenty. Like here. A measure of wheat for a denarius. That's where I feel like this is going. I don't want it to go there. Trump says he'll lead a movement to eliminate mail-in ballots. Yes, Donnie wrote a whole thesis-length post. I'm not going to even read that. There's no point. I just want to give you the idea. Why does Donnie want to get rid of mail-in? Because as the mail-in ballots came in last time, his Biden's lead grew more and more and more and more. Donnie had the lead initially because the geriatrics go out in person on election day, most of them. Then the mail-ins come in from overseas. There's troops. There's all kind of people that use mail-in ballots. Look, it's not controversial, son. Don't argue for a con man. As the mail-ins came in, Donnie lost. That's normal for the mail-ins to come in and be counted. There was no nefariousness. In fact, all the major entities that accused, different voting machine companies and stuff of nefariousness, well, they got their asses sued off. And those companies probably raked in a few $1 trillion off those motherfuckers. So that's how serious the lies are. There were recounts. There were 60-some court cases. Many judges that Donnie appointed himself. Look, there was nothing. There was no shadiness. Donnie just lost. It's a shame he won after that. And again, that's why your country's over, son. Handing the keys to a con man who thinks he's God never goes well. So Donnie wants to get rid of the mail-ins. Look, I'll break it down for you real quick in one sentence, okay? Donnie's going to rig the midterms and the next election. That's even if he allows them to go forth. So even if we have elections, listen, class, this will save us a lot of time. Even if we have elections, he will rig the midterms. He's already talking about getting rid of mail-ins. It's the reason he's talking about it now. He wants it done by midterms by the next election. Donnie's going to rig the midterms. Donnie's going to rig the next election. That's if he allows it to even go forth. If they haven't gone full Reich yet, and we're all, half of us in camps, the other half dead, God knows what. So expect the next two elections to go Donnie's way. That's if he even allows them to go forth and just doesn't arrest all the liberals like Hitler did. He's following all the other steps Hitler took. Why wouldn't he take that step? He already has in some ways. Arrested a liberal judge. So Donnie's going to get rid of the mail-ins. He's telling you what he's going to do in advance, softening you up for it, because that has worked great for 10 years. We've become desensitized to so many things that we used to think were evil. Gavin Newsom, again, someone finally did it. They put Gavin on Rushmore. Now, wouldn't that be funny if they started chiseling Gavin into Rushmore even? My God, Donnie would have a fucking aneurysm. So someone made the meme, the Gavin on Rushmore. Wow, what an honor on Mount Rushmore. Thank you, GCN. That's what the cult's been doing for 10 years, posting shit like that. Why can't Gavin do it? I told you Leon wasn't going anywhere, son. Did I say that? Did I say he was a false prophet? And if I see someone that fits the description better, main two, prophet, well, that's someone who preaches on behalf of something, not necessarily God. Rains fire from the heavens in the sight of men. Well, Leon does that once a month when he blows up a rocket. And he owns the most major text website across the globe. So he could do all the preaching he wants. And what I find fascinating, he's exactly like Donnie. He wants to run the world. He was co-chancellor for a minute. And back in Hitler's day, he was co-chancellor. Then he got rid of the chancellor and became supreme leader. That's what Leon was hoping. Maybe Leon's going to work a deal where Donnie promises to leave in 4 years, turn it over to JD, and then Leon comes back in the fold, throws a couple $1 billion back on the table. Because that's Leon and Greasy Pete's guy, JD Vance, the couch fucker. That's who they're looking for. They ain't looking for Donnie, who has an agenda of his own. They were looking for someone they could buy and just run. Well, you happened, Greasy Pete, I just want to let you know, and Leon, you might already know because of who you worship and that whole thing. You tried to put a leash on the Antichrist. You bought the Antichrist, who is loyal to nothing and no one. Ever. Big mistake. It's not going to end well for you guys. I'm sorry. You should have studied scripture more closely and left the Nazism alone. Because you're not going to like where that gets you either. As wise as you think you are. So here's Donnie on his money laundering. TruthSocial.com users HD double. Freedom is priceless. And look what Donnie posted. Picture Leon. Uh-oh. Is Leon going to come back into the fold now? Uh-oh. During his campaign, Trump urged people to use mail-in ballots to vote for him. Today, Trump called it a scam and a hoax that should be eliminated ahead of the midterms. It's mail-in ballots, early voting, voting on the day. You gotta get out, whatever. So this is a picture of Donnie in a video that he did back then. You know, again, Donnie goes where the wind blows, what's expedient for him at the time. He doesn't actually believe in anything. Now he's in power, he wants to get rid of the mail-ins. We always knew Donnie hated mail-ins because once they got counted, Donnie lost. And again, we got a whole bunch of soldiers overseas. That's the only way they can vote, son. So if you ain't for mail-ins, you ain't for a lot of, there's also handicapped people, all kind of people that they need this service. But I know that means your team didn't win, so damn them, right? Right. That's why your country's over again. That attitude. Here's Donnie again on the Truth Social money laundering. I am totally convinced that if Russia raised their hands and said, we give up, we concede, we surrender, we will give Ukraine and the great United States of America, the most revered, respected, and powerful of all countries ever, Moscow and St. Petersburg. Again, I'm not going to finish. Donnie's going to go on his usual rant that, Vlad could give me all of Russia and no one would give me any credit. What does he want credit for? I keep seeing him have meetings and phone calls with Putin. Nothing gets done. He wastes Zelensky's time over and over again. Nothing gets done. What is he trying to take credit for? Nothing's happened. And no, this man did not stop 6 wars and all this bullshit he keeps spouting. No. All I see is Ukrainians getting killed every day and Russians getting killed. I don't see Donnie making any progress in any respect whatsoever. It's all been theater, all been a waste of our time. Every turn he's defending Vlad and telling Zelensky to go fuck himself. Proving once more that he's Donnie Krasnov, the Russian asset, since 1987. Whether he knew he was an asset or not. Irrelevant. The Russians knew he was an asset. That's all that fucking matters. And that's why your country's gone. Because you played games with that. You played games with a KGB agent. Because you thought it was cool and funny. There goes your future, son. There goes the empire. We'll see how funny it is. Here's Donnie again. We will only see the return of the remaining hostages when Hamas is confronted and destroyed. The sooner this takes place, blah, blah, blah. So Donnie's encouraging more killing in Palestine. I was the one who ended 6 wars in just 6 months. That's a war a month, Donnie ended, isn't he? He's just a great peacemaker. Just like the story says. I was the one who obliterated Iran's nuclear facilities. Play to win or don't play at all. That was theater as well. Donnie wanted to go lightly bomb them and then the next day put his hand out for the Nobel. Look, I stopped bombing them. Give me my trophy. I'm the man of peace. He literally did that. Every intelligence report from every source says the damage was minimal. There's satellite photos of Iran moving shit days before the bombing. No, it wasn't obliterated, son. I'm sorry. Yet another just abject lie. Also, Donnie can play the game of dropping a few bombs, saying, I'm going to stop now. Look at me. I'm the great peacemaker. I know I just bombed that country, but give me my Nobel. He literally did this. So no, he didn't end 6 wars in 6 months either. Again, that's his pitch. Give me the Nobel, please. Does that help your life, Rube, if Donnie gets the fucking Nobel Peace Prize? God, if only you people cared about policy, your children more than political theater. Such a shame. It wouldn't be over. Noel Kassler and Noel knows. Seems as if Putin answered Melania's letter with more missiles. As if to say, bitch, I fucking own both of you. And we both know it. Trump is Putin's caddy. I thought that was an excellent way to put it since Donnie loves golf so much. In the same way when Donnie's on the golf course, he has a caddy, a subordinate, who's way beneath him. Every time Vlad and Donnie are standing next to each other, that's what Vlad has. A subordinate who's much, in the gutter beneath him. Donnie is Putin's caddy. Great way to put it. Noel's an excellent writer. Great with words. Again, I thought instead of reading Donnie's every word over the past 3 years, I'd just kind of more show you what your country is turning into. This is a great example. Is this the Bribe plane or is this the old Air Force One? I guess maybe that's the old one, the model on the table. Look at the pictures. Look at how many gold cups and statues are on that mantle. I mean, from end to end. Gaudy as hell, gold everywhere. Again, does that look like a man who's leaving in a few years? No. Donnie's making Caesar's Palace the real version. I want you to look at that again. This is what he's turning your country into. This is what he's turning your White House into. Remaking everything in his image. Your government, your country, the economics, the currency. There will be an actual image via AI that Altman's working on. The data centers, by the way, are hoarding water and electricity. How many cities do we hear about electrics in, short supply? We can't cover the demand, blah, blah, blah. How many cities we can't cover the demand for water? So we have these mega fucking data centers that use, 87 million gallons of water per day, plus just ungodly amounts of electricity, son. So electricity prices are going up partly as a result of that. Already. Again, they're turning our society, what they're hoping to turn it into, some dystopian nightmare, Blade Runner, toxic environment, just, huge data centers, AI, robots, just no one has a job. This is what Donnie is doing to your country. Turning it into this. Remaking everything in the Reich's image in his image. Again, nothing I say is drama or exaggeration. Look at, again, that picture. That's someone who thinks he's a king or Caesar. That's someone that doesn't plan on leaving. Putin is always, again, Noel Castler. Putin has always played Trump like a fiddle, going back to the Russian brothels in his New York City tower. His addiction to stimulants and his unbridled narcissism matched only by his sheer stupidity in geopolitical affairs. You are witnessing the harvesting of a decades-long operation. He means as Donnie Krasnov. Putin owning, or the KGB owning Donnie shitbags since 87 in various different ways. The investment they put into him has paid off. Vlad won because you're stupid and you know who I'm talking to. The war is over. You lost because you chose to lose. This last sentence is so true. Again, this isn't exaggeration. This is Noel Castler. He knows way more than me and you about these motherfuckers. He smelled the shit, son. He was right near the diapers. You are witnessing the harvesting of a decades-long operation. The harvesting indeed. And you're being liquidated, dismantled, looted. Who knows, once it's all over, maybe he lets some force in to attack us. Wouldn't surprise me. Don't be surprised if it happens. Trump's administration is considering setting the refugee admissions cap at around 40,000 for this year, with the majority of slots designated for white South Africans. At least they're honest Nazis. They're saying flat out, we only want white people. How else is there to interpret this, son? At least they're being honest. Here's Donnie again on the Truth Social money laundering. I've settled 6 wars in 6 months, one of them a possible nuclear disaster, and yet I have to read and listen to the Wall Street Journal and many other who truly don't have a clue tell me everything that I'm doing wrong on the Russia-Ukraine mess. That is sleepy Joe Biden's war, not mine. I'm only here to stop it, not to prosecute it any further. Bullshit, he just wants the Nobel. He could care less how many Ukrainians die. That's it. For some reason, this thing covets the Nobel Peace Prize. That is all the motivation. Opening sentence proves what I'm saying. I've settled 6 wars in 6 months. Who dares fucking say that out loud? Except the Antichrist who wants the fucking Nobel. Unbelievable. And no, it's not Joe Biden's war. It's Vlad Putin's war, and his agent Donnie Krasnov is helping. Trump on Melania's letter to Putin. Now, Donnie's done this before. This is so weird. And he's not the only one, by the way. On Melania's letter to Putin, she has a wonderful son that she loves probably more than anybody, including me. But she loves her son. It was a beautiful letter. It was very well received by him, Putin. Again, he's done this before. And so is someone else in his circle. I can't remember who, JD or something. They refer to their wives as they have a child. They have a son. They're allegedly the fathers of those children. What father speaks of their child in such a way? She has a wonderful son. Wouldn't it be, well, we have a wonderful son together? That she loves probably more than anybody, including me. Well, she never loved Donnie, let's be honest. But she loves her son. What man speaks of his wife and child like that? And he's done this before. It's like they're so dissociated from the situation, the wife and child. They forget they're even the father. Trump to Zelensky, and I don't have every interaction with Zelensky. Again, I just want to kind of give you a vision of what's happening to your country. During the war, you can't have elections. This is Donnie saying that. So let me just see. 3.5 years from me, if we happen to be in a way with somebody, no more elections. That's good. So that's Donnie admitting that he's not leaving in 4 years. We all told you this anyway. He staged a coup last time. No one should have to tell you, son. Sad that anyone even needs to say it. And the reason, why does Donnie want elections in Ukraine? So Vlad can install a puppet in Ukraine, just like he did here, Rubes, with Donnie Krasnov. Only reason Donnie brings up elections because Vlad wants elections. So he can get one of his bitches in because a percentage of the population of every country are just as evil as those men. And they know that. Plus, they know they can pull computer tricks and this trick and that trick. They just got to get their guy in. They don't care fucking how. Vlad won. He did it here. He got the big prize called America. And right now, he owns it. Until Donnie snaps the leash. Here's the Nepo hire, Ducey Jr. asking Zelensky a question. Are you prepared to keep sending Ukrainian troops to their death for another couple years, or are you going to agree to redraw the map? So Ducey trying to get a leader of a country to give up territory. I wouldn't be surprised if Ducey has cashed a few checks from Vlad as well. So many in the Republican machine have. We live under each day attacks. We need to stop this war to stop Russia. We need the support of American and European partners. Yep. In other words, Ukraine didn't ask to get attacked by Russia. Vlad's a maniac, a sociopath, the closest thing to the devil I've ever fucking seen. It's hard to believe that Donnie will outdo him, but I think he will. He would have to if he's the Antichrist, right? Ukraine didn't ask to get attacked, so it's disgusting how the right-wing machine, Ducey Jr., the Nepo hire, Donnie the grifter with a face full of cake, do this to this man as his people are dying. Fucking disgusting to watch literal Russian assets. Fuck with this guy. I don't know why he wasted his time and came back. All a waste of time. Nothing got accomplished. Trump echoes the comments he said to Putin, that Putin made to him last Friday. Instead of reading Donnie's thesis, we'll just read this. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. You can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. Yes, you can. We as a Republican Party are going to do everything possible we can to get rid of mail-in ballots. Again, this is supposed to be about Ukraine and Russia. You know, people are dying, but Donnie's on the grift, and he wants to stay Caesar forever. We saw the coup last time, so. We're going to start with an executive order to end mail-in ballots. We're going to end mail-in voting. So Caesar is going to proclaim mail-in ballots are no longer legitimate. He'll take that to Supreme Court. They'll rule in his favor because he owns them too. Again, the threats have gone out to the families. So that's probably how it's going to go. Okay? Here's Donnie specifically because the reports are horrible because he unleashed his Gestapo and the actual U.S. military against its own citizens to round up homeless, harass black people, whatever. People aren't going out. Donnie heard about this. Someone whispered in his ear, Donnie, the numbers for DC are horrible. People don't like machine guns on the corners. They're not going out to eat, Donnie. Businesses are going to close. It's not going to look good for you. Here we go. The restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time. The literal opposite of reality. Inverting reality literally again. Restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time. Data, in fact, shows restaurant business dropping sharply over the last week. That's the commenter saying that last part. Yeah. Everything Trump touches dies. You remember that saying? That's real. That's real. Donnie again on mail-in voting. If you end mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, and the Republicans have to get smart. What do you mean get smart? You mean not count votes. That's where we're at in the Reich. Not that Donnie hasn't floated this idea before. Oh my God, I can't believe he said this. Again, the exact opposite of reality. This thing has to be of the devil because everything out of its mouth is an inversion, straight inversion of reality. He's sitting next to Zelensky when he says this, for fuck's sake. Again, this guy's people are dying. Democrats are calling me up, and we're talking about the military takeover of the United States. While his people are dying, he's trying to get something accomplished for his people. Democrats are calling me up and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years, and Washington, D.C. is safe. The restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time. No, the exact opposite. People aren't going out because of dystopia, because of guys with machine guns and masks on the fucking street, regular military on the street, federalized police force. You know, we used to call us that back in the day in the swamp? Martial fucking law. No, the restaurants haven't been busy. Again, more context on the postponing elections. And again, the reason Donnie wants Ukraine to have elections is to get a puppet like we have here, a puppet for Vlad, Donnie Krasnov. So you're saying during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say, 3.5 years from now, if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections. Oh, that's good. Well, don't worry. We weren't going to have them anyway. Donnie wasn't planning on leaving. And he learned from last time, don't give them a chance to stop your coup. Put the military on the streets in advance. Get the people used to it. Look where we is, son. With the military on the streets. For nothing. Your own military that your tax dollars are paying for. Turned on you to subjugate you. And they went along, again, easy as pie. So Donnie admitting again he's not leaving, okay? Don't say you weren't warned. You warned of severe consequences if a ceasefire were not agreed to by Russia. Will there be severe consequences? What do you think, class? You think Donnie's going to talk about all the severe consequences? Or cover for Vlad? I don't think you need a ceasefire. He can't get a ceasefire because Vlad don't stop killing people just to make a point. Just to show who's in charge. Just to show who the dog is and who the master is. We can work on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that would be a disadvantage from one side or the other. And also known as, I can't get Vlad to stop because he has a PP tape and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I owe him like $3 trillion from all the times he bailed me out. So we don't need a ceasefire. Nothing accomplished. We had the red carpet theater with Vlad. Nothing accomplished. We had this piece of theater. Poor Zelensky has to come over here. Guys, a mountain of stress on his fucking shoulders. Nothing gets accomplished. Donnie again sitting next to Zelensky. And Zelensky looked pissed when he said this. Again, the nerve, the audacity to say this as Putin is killing this man's people. Again, this is what they looked like. Look at all the gaudy fucking gold in the background, too. I don't know why Zelensky wasted his fucking time. It's very sad when you do the right thing. They said because of the fact that Vladimir Putin came to American soil, this was a tremendous defeat. No, it was really wonderful that he did it. It was hard. It was a hard thing for him to do, to be honest with you. Well, it wasn't that hard. He just sent one of his doubles anyway, most likely. Vlad don't like risky situations, remember. Again, he's saying it was hard for Vlad to come to Alaska and have the 5-minute meeting with Donnie. Next to Zelensky, he's saying this as his people are dying. And Donnie's part of the reason. Random commenter, if you're more concerned about Zelensky's outfit than Putin's extermination of Ukrainians, then you are morally bankrupt. Yep. If you give any serious thought to whether Zelensky's wearing a suit or not, you're probably just lost, son. Again, if troops were pillaging, raping, and murdering in America, you'd understand why Zelensky's the way he is. You'd understand how dire the situation is. So yeah, if you dare use that suit thing as a talking point, you're just trying to hide the evil within yourself, son, by using a talking point. Calling it politics won't work when the man asks you about it. I'm sorry. Who wore the ear maxi pad better? On one side, you got Gavin rocking it. On the other side, you got Donnie. Remember that? Check them out. That's totally legit, right? Trump on a hot mic. I think he wants to make a deal for me. Do you understand? As crazy as it sounds, no, Vlad has no interest in making a deal for him. Otherwise, he would have done it. Vlad's laughing his ass off at his victory over the United States thanks to Rubery and the greedy at the top. And every time he watches Donnie do this puppet show, because Donnie for some reason covets the Nobel again, I don't know why. Every time Donnie makes these statements, has these meetings, Vlad just does a triple attack. Just to show I have zero respect for that orange dog. And I'm in charge. This, a picture of Assassination Day. I didn't realize how big this thing was. Donnie pointed over at it while some world leaders were there. This thing is bigger than a man. It's enormous. If you see the person standing next to the photo in the black, look how tiny they are compared to the photo. That's in the White House. Did he think if he made it that big, it would be true? Is that how the child's mind worked? I wonder. Yes, that mural is bigger than a man. Again, his entire reign, his entire kingdom is centered around this. Just like the story says. The Department of Justice will begin releasing Jeffrey Epstein records to the House Oversight Committee on Friday. I'll believe it when I see it. And 1,000 FBI agents already went through it to redact Donnie's name. We all know this. It's verified fact. So whatever they release is worthless. Fucking worthless. Nancy Pelosi, I know how much you people love her. I found this fascinating what she said. It's curious to see the similarities between the people close with Donald Trump. On one hand, we have Vladimir Putin, who has ordered the kidnapping of tens of thousands of Ukrainian children and uses the rape of women as a weapon of war. Yep. This conduct is eerily similar to the moral depravity of Trump's other friend, Jeffrey Epstein. With his close relationships to both men, it's no surprise that Trump won't release the Epstein files and wants Ukraine to cede land to Putin. Where did that come from? That's some heavy shit, boy. That's Nancy speaking some fucking wisdom right into your ear. And I don't care whether you like her or not. That's some wisdom that sounds like it came from somewhere else. I was very kind of surprised when I read this. Not that she doesn't have certain wisdom about certain things. But this right here. That's not a congresswoman talking. That's just a human being talking. Very powerfully stated. It really makes you realize a few things, doesn't it? She's fucking dead on accurate here. I would take that seriously, what she said. Here's Donnie showing Zelensky and other world leaders, again, the grift shop, the merchandise, the 2028 hats, the subversion of the Constitution being advertised right in the White House by a traitor. Again, Zelensky is there to try and help his people. And you have this fat, orange, diapered cunt in makeup showing off his grift fucking store. His grift shop of MAGA merchandise in the fucking White House, son. Do you realize how over it is? And this poor man, Zelensky, again, he had to fly the fuck over here to endure this. And, again, it's just a little boy who has friends over. None of them really like him, but they're there. So the little boy starts showing the friends all his toys and all the stuff he has. That's what you're witnessing. Amazing, Donnie has his own grift shop, grift shelf in the fucking White House. Keeping it classy as always. Wasting Zelensky's time. The guy's people are fucking dying. He's standing there looking at fucking MAGA hats. Your country, your empire, the future of this thing, this experiment called America, is over forever. Scenes like that prove it. Donnie, today, I woke up to this. I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I hear I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. Well, guess what, Donnie? You're the fucking Antichrist. Ain't a chance in fucking hell you're going to heaven. Not a fucking chance. But I think Donnie already knows that. Maybe he's getting a little scared. I don't know where this came from. He eventually started talking about how maybe if he can make peace in Ukraine, it'll help him get to heaven. He doesn't want to make peace in Ukraine. He wants to give Vlad the territories and mineral rights Vlad's looking for. And walk away with a Nobel. That's what he wants. The Antichrist worried about going to heaven. Can you fucking believe it? See, when I hear statements like this, I wonder if Donnie knows who he is or not. Makes you think, oh, maybe he doesn't know, maybe he does. But there is something they do know. That entity that they worship. And I want to talk about this really quickly for a moment. When you question whether there's a God, a devil, all this, which all of us do, by the way, even those of us that believe, sometimes we doubt. Ask yourself why the top level people in this world, Leon, Thale, others, they worship an entity. I'm serious. Why do they believe? For thousands of years, that the people at the top of society, they had to belong to these occult groups. Why do they believe if none of it's real? Think about that. Because they believe, son, in that thing that we not, dare not speak its name. That is their God, and they take it seriously. Oh, Donnie said that in an audio interview on Fox, I believe. Trump on Ukrainian membership in NATO. It was something that was never going to happen, so Ukraine asked for it, and they shouldn't have asked for it. It was very insulting. Yeah, they should just sit back and let America fuck them over and let Russia kill their people and not try and join NATO. How dare they? Why? Why does Donnie say that? Because Vlad told him to say that. Vlad doesn't like NATO. Donnie hasn't liked NATO in a long time. That's because he's been Donnie Krasnov since 1987. I'm serious. So since Vlad doesn't like NATO, Donnie's giving a sermon against NATO and how dare Ukraine try and join. That's not going to happen. Again, the audio interview on Fox, I believe that was this morning. Looks like that. It's not a war that should have been started. You don't do that. You don't take on a nation that's 10 times your size. They took probably a lot of money too. Says the ultimate grifter convicted felon that Ukraine took money. Again, Donnie Krasnov proving he's Donnie Krasnov, proving everything I say. Defending Vlad again. Ukraine didn't ask to fight a fucking war. They got invaded. Just like DC is getting invaded right now. And LA got invaded. And Chicago will get invaded. And New York. And then once they get all the liberal areas, guess where they go next? Fucking idiots. That have your name on this. What was the reaction among European leaders when you decided to call Putin during your meeting? Donnie fucking Krasnov. Trump, I didn't do it in front of them. I thought that would be disrespectful to Putin. Krasnov was in such a hurry to snitch, he had to run in the other room and call Putin and let everything, let him know everything that was said. Yeah, see, the press is asking that question. Because if Putin would have been in on the conversation, maybe we could have got somewhere. But no, Putin doesn't want to get anywhere. He didn't want to be in on the conversation. What he wanted is his photo op in Alaska and for his triumphant victory, where his fucking literal asset, who he owns, rolled out the red fucking carpet for him. And Putin got that victory, got that photo op, and that's the only reason he came. U.S. bankruptcy surge past 2020 pandemic levels, Business Insider. That is horrible. Remember the pandemic, everything was closed. Donnie's fucked shit up so badly, so strongly. Surge past 2020 pandemic levels. Holy fuck, that's bad, but that's the point. Burn it all down. Several once popular 1990s and 2000s brands are going under. Forever 21, Joann's, Rite Aid, Party City, and most recently Claire's have all filed for bankruptcy in 2025, joining a growing list of struggling retailers. According to S&P Global, 71 U.S. companies filed for bankruptcy in July, the highest since 2020, and up from 63 in June. I don't even want to read the rest. You get the point. Donnie is ruining the economy. Literally. I could name 20 different reasons and how he's doing it. Doesn't matter. He's ruining it. Meta to downsize AI division. Some executives expected to leave. More layoffs. CEOs are warning entry-level jobs are on the brink of extinction thanks to AI. No, they're telling you that's what they want the future to be. That's what those headlines always mean. This didn't just happen. They made it happen. They want the whole business to be robots, AI, and them, and they collect all the money. And fuck humans. Yes, still buy my products, though. Again, once you cunts get your utopia where no human has a fucking job, how do you expect people to buy your shitty products? Oh, that's right. You don't care. You just care about your portfolio. I forgot. Never mind. So the CEOs are warning you that that's the future we're unfurling for you. Here's the press asking Skeletor about Donnie's go to heaven remarks. Did Donnie get a bad diagnosis or something today? Is there spiritual motivation behind his peace deals? Levitt, I think the president was serious. The president wants to go to heaven, as I hope we all do in this room. We're talking about the Antichrist going to heaven. Are you ready for this? FDA warns public not to eat possibly radioactive shrimp sold at Walmart, son. Nuclear shrimp? That's where we at? In this dystopian nightmare? We deregulated everything. We got rid of all the agencies that weren't about this shit. Fired half the government staff. Now we got radioactive fucking shrimp. Only in the apocalypse would you hear radioactive shrimp, son. Holy fuck. If the point, again, this is Skeletor, Miss Levitt, a reporter asking her, if the point is to get everyone on the same page, why wouldn't Trump just take the call from Putin when the other leaders were in the room? Right. Not go snitch in the closet to Putin. Have conference his ass in. Let's talk about this. No, Putin don't want that. He wants to keep killing till he gets all of Ukraine. That's simple. Only a reporter from the New York Times would ask a question like that. No, it's a legitimate, very, logical question. We want to actually make progress someday, right, Miss Levitt? That's up to dear leader whether we make progress or not. And no, he's not a Russian asset. Yes, he is. Donnie Krasnov since 87. That's why we keep seeing theater and no progress. Is the president considering boots on the ground in Venezuela? And remember, Donnie's campaigning for a Nobel Peace Prize as we're having this discussion, and he's deploying 4,000 troops to Latin America. Skeletor. President Trump has been clear and consistent that he's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country. Maduro is not a legitimate president, but our convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, fraud, defamer, traitor to his nation who staged a coup, stole 3,000 classified documents, he's legitimate, but Maduro isn't. Okay. Grandpa's back to yelling at windmills. Again, this is Donnie on the True Social Money Laundering. Isn't it beautiful? Stupid and ugly windmills are killing New Jersey. That's in all caps. Energy prices up 28% this year. That's because of Donnie. And not enough electricity to take care of the state. Stop the windmills. And it's also because of data centers, by the way. Again, I know Donnie doesn't care. He has a vendetta against windmills. And he's all about oil and all that. I understand that. But does Donnie understand the concept that if you get rid of the windmills, that's less electricity available? Oh, that's right. He doesn't care. He's a Caesar losing his mind. And this is dying America. Never mind. Home Depot says it will raise some prices because of tariffs. That's CNN. So now it's even hitting Home Depot. I guess they can't eat the tariffs anymore. I knew that wouldn't last too fucking long. But I thought the tariffs wouldn't cause prices to increase, right, Donnie? All for one man to grift. Such a shame. Again, Gavin talking in Rube speak. I believe he's talking about some reporter the way Donnie does. Dana Ding Dong Perino, and that's in quotes, never heard of her until today, is melting down because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. Fox hates that I'm America's most favorite governor, ratings king, saving America, while Trump can't even conquer the big stairs on Air Force One anymore. Trump has lost his step, and Fox is losing it, because when I type, America now wins. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GCN. Beautifully done, masterfully done. All the elements are there. All of them. Keep going. This too. Keep going. The new gold Gavin sneaks. I'm getting a pair of those chumpies. Those are gorgeous. Get them while they're hot. The new Gavin gold sneaks. Oh, here's Gavin again in Rube speak. I hate Kid Rock. Who did Donnie do that for? Taylor Swift or something? Yeah, this really gets us places, right, Rubes? All the shit talking on social media like a fucking sixth grader. Sixth grade girl, that is, by the way. Gavin's mocking it. Donnie does it for real all day. Instead of governing, he's grifting, playing golf, and tweeting. What do you get out of that? Jack fucking shit. If only you could have been honest with yourself and said, yeah, that's the truth. Let me not vote for that fucking con man. What a shame. Now your country's over. I'm sorry. And again, I'm not being dramatic when I say that. I would never say that lightly. It's fucking over. Again, Miss Levitt Skeletor. When it comes to the slums of Washington, D.C., he's referring to the most dangerous communities, neighborhoods, and streets in this city. Yeah, we know exactly what he's referring to when he says slums in D.C. That's why they asked Skeletor the question. Donnie going after the museums. I'll just read the first few sentences. The museums throughout Washington, but all over the country, are essentially the last remaining segment of woke. In other words, the last remaining thing we need to get rid of, alter, remake in our image. Just like Adolf did. Where's the part about slavery? Here it is. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is. No, it isn't. How bad slavery was. Again, this is the same agenda we've been seeing for 10 fucking years. White people can do no wrong. We must rewrite history. Slavery didn't happen. White people didn't do it. White people didn't kill the Native Americans. White people didn't do this. They didn't do that. Republicans didn't try and overthrow the government. We got to get rid of all that. And round up minorities while we're at it. That is what you are seeing before your eyes. And just like Adolf Hitler, remaking everything in the Reich's image. Only positivity about the Reich and the country of the Reich. Only Reich-approved exhibits will be displayed. That's what you're witnessing, what's about to happen. Hitler did the same exact thing. Rewriting history. How bad slavery was. Yeah, that's all that's in the museum. And slavery was downright fucking horrific and evil. It wasn't bad. It was of Satan. New ballroom coming along nicely. This is Gavin pointing out that, this is what Donnie's doing with your money. Build a new ballroom. That'll take probably a year and a half to build. And Donnie ain't leaving, so he ain't no hurry. That's what your tax money's being spent on. I know the Reich told you Donnie and donations are going to pay for it. Sure, son. Sure. Donnie don't pay for nothing. Ever. July had the highest number of corporate bankruptcies since the COVID pandemic in 2020. So when does the golden age start? Again, that's not good, man. That highest corporate bankruptcies. You think you ain't going to feel that? You're going to feel that. Supporting slavery isn't the way to heaven, Donnie. Yeah. Right. That's the Lincoln Project saying that. Right. Ursula von der Leyen, the distinguished and highly respected president of the European Commission, and I have been discussing the massive worldwide problem of missing children. This is likewise a big subject with my wife, Melania. I'm not going to read anymore. This is Jeff Epstein's best friend pretending he gives a shit about missing children from Ukraine that Vlad has stolen. When he doesn't. Unbelievable. And the poster says, funny, Trump didn't give a fuck about missing children when he was raping them. Yep. Otherwise, you'd have those Epstein files by now, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't need 1,000 FBI agents to redact those files. All right, we're almost done here. This is Liam Neeson. And here I thought radioactive shrimp was the new special at Applebee's. Good one. Nope, it's on the shelves at Walmart. I forget, Great Value, some brand. That goes perfectly along with the dystopian nightmare we're living in that's getting worse by the second, by the way. Nuclear fucking shrimp. In the wake of Trump's tariffs, John Deere announces mass layoffs, estimating that tariffs have already cost the company $300 million this year. Beal forecast a full-year tariff impact of nearly $600 million. These corporations can't sustain this as much money as they have. Those are ridiculous numbers just on tariffs. Also, one man can grift and pocket it. Were the tax cuts worth it, son? All you people filing bankruptcy right now that voted for this. Were the tax cuts worth it? Was the deregulation worth it? None of it's worth it when you don't have a business no more. $300 million. The tariffs have already cost John Deere. Going to cost him $600 in the end. Donnie really taking care of the heartland. Well done, Donnie. Well done, Rubes, for voting for your own demise. Has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Kid Rock, he's no longer hot? That's Gavin Newsom again in Rube speak. And that's what Donnie does. When Donnie talks shit on someone, and the next day he says they're no longer hot anymore. And by saying that, that means it's reality. Right, Rubes? Okay, we're at the end. Leon. I told you, he is not going anywhere. Leon still wants to rule the world. Don't think he's given up. No one needs to worry about Democrats winning the midterm elections. I have a plan. Indeed. Leon didn't go anywhere. Just like I told you, yes, he will be brought back into the fold at some point in some capacity. He already is in the fold. He just isn't at the actual White House anymore. So again, now we're at the point in the dystopian nightmare where we've got nuclear shrimp. And I'll give my final message that I always give at the end. Once the mark comes, you must say no, no matter what it cost you, son. You must say no. Once you take that thing, there is no going back. And you are done. So you cannot take it. You can't take it and then change your mind. No. An oath will be made. A promise. Too late. And that is my final message. Do not take the mark when we get there, and we will get there. Don't worry. And as always, people, if you'd like to help out, I'd appreciate it. I'll put the PayPal at the top of the comment section when this uploads in 4 hours. And until the next episode, I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. I wasn't even going to do this tonight.